Thank you for tuning in. Today, I'm pleased to have Jacky Tang, a longtime friend. We go back all the way during our primary school years in Brunei, Darussalam, and then our college stint in Malaysia. I'm glad that I've kept up with our friendship. Jack is probably amazing with the numbers, and I'm assuming that he's also an amazing accountant. I will also add that he's a gamer as well. Anyway, I'll let him speak for himself. Thank you for taking the time, Jacky, and welcome to the Middle Hustle podcast.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Jacky. So again, I probably didn't say enough about yourself. Do you want to tell our listeners about yourself?
Sure. As Shafiq has pointed out, we go way back. Back till I don't know. It's been more than 20 years now, I think.
Yeah.
So after finishing up in Brunei, we obviously did the O levels there. Moved to Malaysia for a bit before finally deciding to move to Perth, and that's where I've settled down, basically doing a bachelor in accounts and finance. So working as an accountant right now, full-time accountant. Got a family with two young boys, so
Amazing.
that they keep me busy. Life in Australia has been good, so can't complain.
Oh, amazing. So you're accountant in Perth?
Yes. So I work for one of the big mining companies, Fortescue Limited.
Wow.
Basically looking after the shipping, the numbers for the shipping department.
Yeah. That sounds interesting. Now, just tell me how does one become an accountant? Like, what's the process like?
Look, to be honest, when we finished high school and you attended all the educational fairs and basically trying to decide what you're going to do for the rest of your life, it was a very tough choice. Like Shafiq, I wanted to start out being a doctor, a medical student and stuff, but the thought of having to spend time in the morgue and dealing with blood all the time just put me off. And
I don't think you spent time in the morgue.
Yeah, well, they told me that you had to do training in the morgue and basically work with cadavers and stuff. And also, when we were in Taylor's and having to, just deal with all the biological terms, chemistry terms every day in and out, I just felt like it wasn't for me. And I was like, let's do something else. And what's a good versatile job out there? And landed on an accountant, because obviously my mom was an accountant and she was a big influence on my life.
Oh, really?
Just thinking about it, accountants very versatile in the sense that you can work in virtually any industry, right? Every industry needs an accountant, so that's how I decided on doing that and seeing where that takes me.
Oh yeah, that's amazing, Jacky. Now, just again, for our young listeners, like, is there like a subject profile, or is there a subject preference that you have to do, like to do accounting? Like, what are the steps? I'm basically kind of asking about that.
I think you really need with any job, right? You need to enjoy what you're doing, right? So with accounting, obviously, there's a big emphasis on numbers. So you need to be able to enjoy dealing with numbers, whether that's maths or you don't need like the advanced maths, because I think that's more leaning towards the engineering side of things. But just having a good grasp of maths and numbers and being good with Excel would go a long way as well. Depending on which stream of accounting, because obviously there's different streams in accounting. You can you can be a management accountant or financial reporting accountant. So depending on which stream you go for, they are you need to be able to interpret the accounting standards. So not quite the level of lawyers, but you need to be able to interpret how the standards perceive things and how you should be treating it. So having a good grasp of a technical knowledge on that would go a long way as well. But yeah, just a love for numbers, really.
Yeah. So, I mean, what part of your job do you like?
Honestly, it's the people that you work with, right? Like, like you could be in a really, like some people may say accounting's really dry, and that's true to an extent. So in my role, at least, while there are procedures that you go, routine procedures you go through every month, there's enough activity in the business that keeps things interesting, and obviously the people that you work with, right? So being in the shipping team, you deal with people who are in scheduling and chartering, so every day it's a different problem. So in a way, it adds a bit of spice to things, so you're not just doing the same thing in and out. So yeah, I enjoy, and one of the perks that I get is like we have a division in Singapore. So being in Australia, that allows me to go to Singapore, and I've always wanted to know what it was like working in Asia. So that gives me a brief window of exposure. So I enjoy that as well.
Oh, that's really good, Jacky. Now, I mean, there's a lot of questions I want to ask you, but I just don't want to make it too boring as well for our listeners. But okay, sounds like you do get to travel around for work. Is that safe to say that? Yeah.
Yep.
And because you're in the mining, I think mining is a big part of the industry. It's a big industry in Perth. In Perth.
Yep.
So, what sort of challenges do you face at work? Like, what sort of challenges do you encounter?
I think because we are a small team shipping's a pretty small team in the overall scheme of things.
Yeah,
making our voices heard can be challenging at times. So you're not dealing with just one stakeholder, right? You're dealing with multiple departments, multiple stakeholders, and trying to get your needs and wants across can be challenging at times, especially when it comes budget season and everyone's trying to cut costs, save money. How do you justify
end of financial year as well?
End of financial year, you gotta make sure everything's in, and getting visibility and in front of like the CEO is not as easy. And you do have to work with multiple stakeholders, so I guess that's the challenge as well. While it's enjoyable, working with different people, sometimes you do come across people that are not easy to get along with. So it's just managing that, at the end of the day, we're all on the same team and everyone's trying to achieve the same goals.
Yeah.
It's just, working with people to achieve those goals.
Yeah. I mean, what would you say? I'm trying to find a question here, but what would you say to someone? Would you encourage someone to become an accountant? I mean, would you account? Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I would definitely say it's a good job to look into. Again, don't be put off by the fact that people say, it's dry and it's boring. There are so many different things you can do. I mean, like you mentioned earlier today that I'm also a gamer, right? So I enjoy gaming in my free time. So, you could mix that up, right? Combine both passions, right? You could land a job in the gaming industry, work as an accountant, and then, every day you're dealing with stuff that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
So, if you're not sure and there are things you want to try, and even if you don't end up being an accountant for the rest of your life, it's still a good, foundation to have.
Yeah.
As it lets you know what's important when it comes to, like when you're opening a business or something, having a good grasp of what's important.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, like in the hospital setting, we do have hierarchical system where you have like interns and sort of junior doctor, middle doctor, registrars and consultants. Do you have something like that in the training to become an accountant? Do you have like... do you have something
definitely.
Like that?
So I guess if we look back, right? So I actually started in the airlines industry as an accountant. So in that, it was actually working for Brunei Airlines. So it's an airlines that flew to Brunei. But in that team, in that office, it was a very small team. So it was just myself. So obviously in that regard, there's not much hierarchical structure that you need to follow. So I left that company to join a public practice because basically I wanted to get my chartered accountant done, and for that you needed to have public accounting experience. So in that you do start out not so much as an intern, but as a graduate, and then you slowly work yourself upwards, right? So from a graduate to intermediate. From there, you go on to be a senior, and from a senior, could be a manager or eventually a director, but probably not in the sense of the hospital setting.
Yeah.
Like you could come out and straight away be an accountant, right? You don't need to start from the intern and work your way up. But doing so obviously gets you the exposure you need, the experience you need to take on more complicated and more complex tasks. So yeah, start out small. In most of the corporate settings, you just start out as maybe as a commercial accountant or accountant before you move up to a senior.
All right.
And then like in my company, that's how it is. Like you start as accountant, graduate, then accountant, then senior, and then obviously manager and above.
What's a chartered accountant?
So it's like a professional body that recognizes that basically recognizes your qualifications as an accountant. I think similar to like what you guys have in the medical sector.
Yeah.
It basically means that you're a qualified accountant, so you're allowed to do like some of the perks that comes with that is you get to when you have to certify documents. Chartered accountant's one of those professions that allows you to do so.
Yeah.
So you basically, so after you graduate from university, you do another, I think it's made up of 5 modules when I was doing it with the CA program to get your qualifications.
Is that a must that every accountant must be a chartered accountant, or it doesn't have to be?
It's not a must, but it will definitely open up a lot more doors for you.
Yeah.
So there's 2 professional bodies in Australia. One's the Chartered Accountant of Australia and New Zealand, and the other one is the CPA.
Yeah.
So Certified Practicing Accountants, I think. So one of those 2 would definitely open up the more opportunities for you when you're applying for jobs and stuff.
All right. Sounds really, it's very interesting. Sounds busy as well, Jacky. So, yeah. You're an accountant, you're a chartered accountant, you're a father. How are you juggling time?
Look, I really value my time with family, right? So I try not to.
I know you like to play your Lego as well.
No, I haven't touched Lego in a while. But yeah, no, that was more of an excuse to get. I would tell my wife that it's for the kids, but really it's for myself. But yeah, no, try. I think proper management, and of your time is key. I try not to obviously work overtime, so try and do a bit more during work hours so you can come back on time. I like Australia is good like that. Not you probably can't get that in Asia where the norm is to work till like 9 p.m 10 p.m whereas here once the clock ticks 5 they try and chase you off because they don't want you to stay too long. So in that regard I consider myself very lucky because I can come back, spend time with the kids before going to bed, because most of the time people come back and it's 6 p.m. by the time you finish cooking dinner and stuff. There's not a lot of time left to spend with kids, so having that extra hour or 2 makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Sound like you enjoy what you're doing, and it looks like you've got some time. You've got a good, what do you call this? A good work-life balance, isn't it? For you?
I think that's very important, right? And yeah, you're right. I'm with this company. I think this is my 14th year now.
Wow,
I joined in
that's a long time.
No, yeah, 13 years in August. Yeah, 13 years in August.
Yeah.
So it's a big chunk of my work life, right? Like my career, probably more than 50% of that's been dedicated to this company, and they've got a good culture. So that's probably why I've stayed for as long as I have.
It's good. Not many people have that luxury to have that sort of that work-life balance.
No, I like the stability it offers, and yeah, they've been generous, and they do have a big emphasis on family, so that helps.
That's great. Okay. I think, with how the world is going and with the cost of living being so high for, from groceries to everyday expenses, how are you finding it? Like, what sort of strategies are you kind of going, with you being a dad and,
Yeah, look, I think there's this stereotype out there that Asians love a good bargain, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's very true for me as well, right? So I try to find savings in wherever I can, basically, right? So whether that's eating out and getting discounts for dining out, or whether it's grocery shopping and buying gift cards at a discount to use to pay for groceries. But I think that putting that aside, you need to be really disciplined when it comes to money, right? As much as you like to splurge and enjoy life and spend all that money, whenever you can, buying all the nice things, I think you should be disciplined and set a portion of that aside for a rainy day, and just build that nest. Like you said, houses these days are just so expensive, right? I honestly worry about our kids' generation, how they're going to afford a home, right?
Yeah.
So it's instilling that that mentality, that discipline in them to say, look, while it's good that you have all this money, it's also equally important to save a portion of that for a rainy day, whether that's for buying a house or for a medical emergency or anything like that. I think that's key.
I think trying to get financial literacy in the younger generation is probably important. I think when we were growing up, I don't think we had that much of financial literacy while we were growing up, isn't it?
No, yeah, and I think as I said, alluded to in the beginning, a big part of that came from my mom and her instilling that to us.
Yeah.
So I mean, like as an example, right? I've got friends who they've got a credit card, obviously, but they don't pay it off in full at the end of every month. And what that means is that you're going to be incurring huge amounts of interest. And
absolutely,
that's just cost that you don't need in this world, right? So it's just being disciplined and not overspending. And if it helps, don't get a credit card. Just work with what you have and work within your means.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's very important, Jacky. So I mean, I just want to talk to you about. You say, I mean, you're a gamer. Do you've got any advice on people, out there gaming?
Look, I'm not a professional gamer or anything like that. It's more like to me, gaming is a way of it's a bit cliche, but it does save a lot of money, right? Like like I've got friends where they'll be going out.
I think we've got mutual friends in Brunei. If they end up listening to this, they'll probably have something to say.
Just friends in Australia, right? Like when I was in my job in BDO, like I'll be spending the weekends at home gaming, which is another way for me to keep in touch with friends. Like there's a huge social aspects to the games when we play.
Yeah.
So for me, that's more it's just a hobby and spending time with friends. Whereas I've got friends who would go out to the pub and easily spend $1,000 a night just on drinks. So in that regard, the wife is happy. I'm home. I'm not out, like getting drunk somewhere, and I'm always with the kids. The kids obviously have taken a huge interest in the games as well. So for me, that's another way to spend time with them.
All right.
Whether that's playing Mario or
any games you're playing right now, Jacky?
No, I try to play a mix of different ones. So right now probably PUBG, which is just a core group of 4. I'm getting my 9-year-old to start playing with us.
Yeah.
So it's just going around.
I've always wanted to play Counter-Strike, but never got the chance around it.
I remember that time when you came over and we played Counter-Strike and we, had an incident with the chair.
Oh, yes. Okay. Let's not go there. Anyway. All right. Now, Jacky, you are a professional. You are a professional in accounting. Like, any tips you want to share, to our listeners who are, accounting, that everybody, when they think about accounting, is always tax. People who are on the other side, we're always worried about, expenses and invoices and all that. I mean, from an accounting perspective, what sort of advice you've got for people?
Look, I mean, we share the same concerns, right? Like come tax time, I have the same concerns, but being in accounting, at least it gives me another edge, right? So I know what to look out for, and I try and find savings where I can. Don't be put off by the fact that it's dealing with numbers, right? Because there's so much more to it. It's not just, you're not just confined to dealing with numbers. You're dealing with a whole bunch of different issues as well. Like whether that's finding the best fare to put out there for the marketing team when I was with Royal Brunei Airlines, or whether it's managing the ships that we've built and making sure that we've got the right crew on board, and like managing COVID, for example, when COVID hit, that was a big thing for us, because what that meant was the crew members couldn't get off the ships. So stuff like that. There's it's not just numbers. Don't think that you that's all you're doing, which is the number crunching. But talking about tax, that's another breed of accountant, which is the tax accountants, right? So they obviously have a lot more information on what expenses we can claim and stuff. But you just having that knowledge, I think, even if you don't, like I said, even if you don't end up being an accountant, it doesn't hurt to have that basic
the
grasp
extra knowledge
of the knowledge, right?
Yeah,
as they say, knowledge is power. So try and
absolutely
keep gaining it.
Yeah. Now, how with the like I said before, with the world's so polarized and everything, cost of living so high up there, how do you sort of see the future? I mean, no one's got a crystal globe, no one's got a crystal ball, but what do you sort of see? How do you sort of see things in 5-10 years time, like in your
I think
sector?
I think it's probably only go up, right? Like once it's reached that mark. Even today there was a news article that I heard, and they basically said that the RBA decided not to cut rates, right? And that's because they want the Reserve Bank of Australia.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Reserve Bank of Australia. So basically, they decide how much interest rates are going to be, and what that means is it impacts every one of us, whether that's our mortgage repayments or the cost of living. And they basically said that they're not going to cut rates because they're still trying to get a hold of inflation. While cost of living prices will not revert back to what they were, that's the best they can do, and that's to control inflation so it doesn't get out of hand. And go to crazy levels like the past 2 years that we've seen. So I think on that note, that's a good segue to say that's probably going to be what we should be expecting. Prices will not stay the way they are forever. Cost of living is only going to go up, and hopefully that means that salaries and wages will go up in line with that inflation. And if it doesn't, then it's going to be painful for a lot of people. Unfortunately. And we try and do what we can, and find savings and where we can.
I've got a very naive thinking, but do you think we will ever get back? Do you think we'll ever catch up to inflation?
I think it's doable, but a lot of things needs to happen before we can even get there, right? And there's going to be a lot of short-term pain for that long-term gain. So we just need to survive. Everyone's out there trying to survive right now. You hear about people getting, being homeless because, rent's gone up to crazy levels, or landlords are kicking people out so they can sell because house prices have gone through the roof. I mean, it's not all doom and gloom, right? So it is manageable. Like I said, cost of living, whilst it's high, there are still savings to be found. You just need to be really diligent,
savvy
in finding those. Financially savvy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think now, was there anything that you wanted to talk about that I've missed today, Jacky?
No, I think we pretty much covered most of it. Like again, being an accountant, like most people, I was a bit adverse at first because again, I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it. But I've gone through. I've worked for an airlines. I've worked for a construction company. I've worked for a grain company, and now a mining company. So the world's your oyster, really. So it's just a matter of picking up which industry you want to be part of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it sounds like you've got heaps of experience.
Yeah, no. It's been a long time. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. It's telling us our age, isn't it, Jacky?
Yeah. Let's not reveal that too much.
All right, Jacky. It was great talking to you and sharing your perspective. And maybe we can do this again. Maybe we can talk something else next time.
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy to be on the show.
All right. Thanks, Jacky. I'll see you around.
Thanks, Shafiq. Yep. See you around.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for staying and listening till the end. I hope you have enjoyed the episode. If this is something of interest or someone may benefit from this, please share, follow, and subscribe. See you in the next episode. Thank you.